What's up guys, Triple J here, welcome back to the channel, and this video will be about Jabari Panther. I pulled Jabari for my last crystal opening and I honestly never used her before. I don't know how she works. So since she has like a Karina's challenge tied to her, I was like, well, let's learn the champ just in case I decide to do the Karina's challenge. So this video will be like, let's take a look, just like the Luke Cage video I did, and let's learn together. And you guys can leave in the comments anything I missed out, any tips and tricks and stuff about Jabari. And yeah, let's get right into this. So the first thing we need to know is that once Jabari crits, she inflicts a bleed debuff. So the Deep Wounds Mastery will be very beneficial for Jabari, and I would recommend, if you're using Jabari, to invest in that mastery. Okay, so the next thing, and I think this is one of the most important things to know, is when Jabari hits an opponent that is stunned or ensnared, she gains 1 Huntress charge, and you're going to know more about this Huntress charge as we go along. Okay, so the special one, once activated, inflicts an ensnare debuff on the opponent for 11 seconds. And ensnared makes the opponent suffer minus 30% ability accuracy, and they also cannot evade. And remember, I previously said, when Jabari hits a stunned or ensnared opponent, she gains 1 Huntress charge. So using the special one inflicts an ensnared, and once you start hitting the opponent, you will gain Huntress charges. Okay, so now to the reason why we want to gain Huntress charges. When Jabari gains 10 Huntress charges, she removes them and the hunt starts. And while the hunt is on, Jabari is stun immune and she gains critical rating by 10,000. Also, the opponent cannot evade or cause attacks to miss, and any bleed on the opponent as well will pause for 0.5 seconds when she inflicts a bleed. Not only that, when Jabari purifies a debuff, the opponent fails a miss or an evade, it pauses the hunt and any fury buffs on Jabari for 2 seconds. So on to the special 2. If you have the hunt and you use this attack, it pauses the hunt. So it's very beneficial if you could use this attack while the hunt is active. Alright, so let's head back to Winter Soldier and let's do a slightly different rotation. Just add in one more wrinkle to it, and it's not necessary, but it can be very beneficial. And yeah, let's look at it. Alright, so this is another thing we have to mention here. When the hunt is activated, if you use a special attack, within 1 second of it, you gain a non-stacking fury buff. And this fury buff is pretty strong and it lasts for 9 seconds. So it's very beneficial, if possible, you activate a special attack as soon as the hunt is activated. Okay, so this is the other wrinkle I was talking about to the rotation. It's the heavy attack. So when the hunt is active, right, each bleed debuff on the opponent has a 50% chance to inflict another bleed, right, and it lasts for 7 seconds. This also ends the hunt. So it's a good idea to when the hunt is nearing to its end, if you could use a heavy attack so you can maximize the duration of the hunt, plus inflict more damage by adding more bleeds to the opponent. So right now there's 15 bleeds on Winter Soldier. Watch what happens when I use the heavy attack and how much bleeds Winter Soldier gets. Alright, so let's talk about the special 3 real quick. The next time the hunt activates, the opponent is stunned for 4.5 seconds, and you also gain permanent Huntress charges. So the first time you activate the special 3, you gain 3, and the second time you gain another 3, and it max stacks at 6. And this is to facilitate you getting to the hunt much quicker. And I suspect that you know, for longer fights, you want to use the special 3 so that you don't have to, you know, go from 1 to 10 every single time to get to the hunt. Alright, so I'm just going to show off some utility that Jabari brings to a fight. And Jabari is going to shut down Nightcrawler's evade here, but I won't recommend doing this fight just because any prowess mutants gain that's either a buff or passive, it actually reduces Jabari's Huntress charges by 1. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend using Jabari against mutants, but in this case I just want to show off that her Ensnare actually stops Nightcrawler's evade. Also the hunt as well stops his evade. Alright, so as you guys can see, the Ensnare is on and Nightcrawler is not evading anymore. Also, every time Nightcrawler fails an evade, Jabari gains Huntress charges faster and she gets to the hunt much quicker. Alright, so this next fight is Miles Morales, and just want to showcase that Jabari can counter the miss mechanic pretty easily once she has the hunt activated on her. Alright, so now the hunt is on and you guys are going to see that Jabari is countering Miles Morales' miss mechanic here. Alright, so this next fight is MODOK in the Paragon Gauntlet for Event Quest, and we're going to showcase Jabari's cleanse mechanic here because this MODOK has biohazard, and as you guys know, every time you hit the opponent, you get a bleed, and if you hit it into the opponent's block, you get a poison. And Jabari is not poison or bleed immune, but because of her cleanse mechanic, she's going to do this fight. I won't say like pretty easily, but she can do the fight comfortably. So as you guys can see, every time Jabari attacks an opponent, she activates a cleanse. And once the cleanse is used, the cleanse goes away, but every time you hit the opponent, the cleanse comes back. So this is how she can do this fight pretty comfortably. Alright, so the last thing we need to talk about with Jabari is her signature ability. And once awakened, she increases the duration of the hunt. Also, she gains counterpunch charges whenever she would gain a hunter's charge. And counterpunch is basically what like Killmonger would get on his special one. Like if he hit into their block, they gain an unstoppable for a short period. So I think the signature ability is, I think it's kind of important for Jabari. I think the longer duration of hunt is very beneficial because like we're always baiting specials in this game, right? And especially if the hunt is active for Jabari and you bait a special or trying to bait a special from an opponent, it eats into the hunt's time, right? So you can take advantage of the hunt during that time. So I think a longer duration is very beneficial. And I also feel like, a future synergy whereby whenever the opponent uses a special, it pauses the hunt. I think that will be very beneficial for Jabari. I mean, she also like has a lot of ways to pause the duration of the hunt, but it's very situational. So where she shines is, she shines against with fights that has a lot of debuffs or where you can counter evade or counter miss, right? That way you can pause the hunt. But take her out of those fights and the timing of everything with the hunt is pretty tight. Also, her damage will drop off against bleed immune champs. So you don't want to use her against bleed immune champs because half of her damage come from bleeds. So that's also where she kind of fails. But overall, like if you take her into the fight she's favored in, she will do decently well. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys got any tips and tricks and stuff about Jabari, just leave in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.